Well, good morning, my friend, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you along with me this Tuesday morning, and I hope that you've had a wonderful start to your week on yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a mixed bag type of day. Three families in our church lost a loved one, and of course, a couple of them we expected to happen anytime. We didn't know it was going to be that quick. And then one, just surprisingly, one of our men who's in church every Sunday, even church this Sunday, passed away in his sleep on Sunday night. Family found him in the house, and certainly thankful for a place called heaven. Thankful that we're a soul-winning church, that people are going to go to heaven because somebody led them to Christ. And to me, that's one of the most important things. That's one reason why we go soul winning, is to be able to keep people out of hell. Then while we're out visiting the families, my son-in-law and I were able to go soul winning and lead a couple people to Christ, and get some people extras lined up to come to church on Sunday. I ran into a family that she was backslid, went through the plan of salvation. She goes, "I've done that." I said, "Then you don't need to get saved again." I said, "You can't get saved again." I said, "You're already saved. You're just backslid. You need to get back in church." And they want to be there on Sunday. So I'm excited about that, what the Lord's doing there. And all you got to do is just continue to go soul winning, and you'll run across people that you can help. And of course, soul winning does a whole lot more for us than what I think we realize. There's a lot of benefits to soul winning, and I'd encourage you be a soul winner. Find somebody you can tell about how to get saved, and God will be pleased with that. Well, today I want to talk to you about hindrances to building. In Ezra chapter 4 and verse 4, the scripture says, "Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building." Now, building something for God is not easy. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I've been at this for a long time. Not easy. Anytime you see someone trying to do something for God, there's always been something that Satan has used to hinder them from succeeding. Now, Ezra discovered that when he tried to rebuild the temple. It seemed that everyone should, you'd think everybody would be excited about the rebuilding of the temple. But the hindrances showed themselves that once they started building something for God, that not everybody is excited. Now, there ought to be a desire in your heart to build something great for God. You ought to have that desire. I'd hate to go through life and never build one thing for God. You ought to have a desire to build a Sunday school class, a bus route, a great church, or build some ministry for Christ. Just because you're a lay person doesn't mean you can't build something for Christ. It'd be terrible to go through life and one day at your funeral have nothing to point to that you built for God. When you attempt to build something for God, you're going to find hindrances that will try to stop you from building. Now, I find there are 5 hindrances you'll face if you try to build something great for God. The first hindrance is adversaries. Ezra 4:1 says the adversaries heard that Ezra was building the temple, and they immediately came to try to stop this great work. Now, you're not going to build something great for God, get this now, without having adversaries. If you have no adversaries with what you're building, then you're likely not building anything at all. I don't care if you're building something for life or for God. You're always going to have adversaries when building something. This is why you need to toughen up. I tell our young men, toughen up, be a man, stand up, man, good night, get some tough skin on you. Too many believers, they're soft. When the adversaries come, they stop building. Now, you have to expect adversaries, and the fact that they are adversaries means it will make you uncomfortable as you build. If there were no adversaries to overcome, then there would be no pleasure in looking back at what you built. Toughen up. And don't let the adversary stop you. My friend, they're going to come. I don't care how nice you are. If you're doing something for God, there's going to be adversaries. If you have no adversaries, if you're a friend to everybody, I want to tell you right now, then you're not doing nothing. Because you do something for God, you're going to get adversaries. The second thing that hinders building something for God is compromise. So the adversaries try to get Ezra to let them build with him. he was wise to their compromising offers. So when the adversaries see that them coming is not going to stop you, then what they do, they always try to offer you a compromise. Compromise always pokes its ugly head out when you're trying to build something for God. And it always offers a better or easier way to build. Get that now. But it destroys what you're building. So compromising separation from the wrong crowd destroys God's power working through your life and ministry. So if the adversaries themselves appearing don't stop you, then they offer compromise. Now, I find there's a third thing that happens. Troubles are a hindrance to building something for God. You've got to be creative when you're trying to build something, because trouble will present itself to trying to stop you from building. Creativity and determination are the only things that will keep you from quitting when troubles arise. Satan's going to send many troubles your way. He will send the adversaries. When that doesn't work, he tries to get you compromised. When that doesn't work, he sends troubles your way. And you've got to understand, you cannot let trouble stop you. You got to keep on going. Things are not going to happen the way you plan for them to happen, but you got to keep going. Fourth, frustrations are the fourth hindrance to building. So people become frustrated. They will frustrate you as you try to build something for God. But you can't let what frustrates you get you off focus. You're building something for God to help people. But you can easily become sidetracked if you focus on what they are doing that frustrates you. So don't let frustrations stop you, that you focus on people. Well, that's a dangerous thing right there, because you're building something. You see people all around you not doing anything, and it'll frustrate the fire out of you if you got anything inside of you. So you can't let those frustrations stop you, because you let the frustration stop you. You turn your attention from what you're building to the people that frustrate you, and then you destroy them. So you cannot let frustrations hinder you from building something for God. And then the fifth thing that hinders us from building something for God is this. Well, it's never good enough. You know, that's what people always say. People compare you to the works of the past, and you've got to realize God is working through you. Don't let the comparison game from those who try to compare you to someone else. Well, you're not as good as them, and you're not doing this. Who cares? I'm not standing before God for them. I'm standing before God for me. So every great work of God is a great work. I've got to understand that, no matter what the size is. Now, if I'm doing my best, I'm going soul winning, I'm separated. I am aggressively trying to reach the lost, and I don't have what we call big work. Don't worry about it. You still have a great work, because you're doing the work for God. Any work for God of any size, as long as a person's doing the best, get this now, is a great work. Now, don't let the naysayers stop you from continuing to build what you're building for God. There are many good men in small towns that are building something great for God. I think of a good friend of mine out in Pennsylvania, just in a small town. And I mean, a small town. I don't know how he does it. He's been there for many years. He's built a great work. Now, can I tell you, you've got to understand that these men, that they build a great work in their small towns. And it is a great work. It's just as great of a work as a large church is. Don't worry about the size. That's not what makes it great. Is that you're doing a work of God. That's what makes it great. Now, let's not let these things hinder us from building something for God. When these things come, when adversaries come, don't stop. When they offer compromise, don't compromise. When Satan sends troubles, don't let that stop you. And then you just got to determine, okay, just because I'm going to get frustrated because people aren't going to get with me all the time. Don't let that turn on them. And then never let those who compare you cause you to say, well, I'm just giving up. I'm done. You keep doing something great for God. God's got something big for you. Well, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today, and as we go throughout this day, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time.